Well, hello again. Welcome back to my channel, Alan Retired in the Philippines. Today's topic is, can a LDR work for you? LDR means long distance relationship. I will be right back to tell you about my story and other people's stories that I've met in person and talk online. A lot of pros and cons about the topic. I'll just tell it straight the way it is. Okay, I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let me tell you a quick short story before I get to the point. Can you survive, or can you make a LDR, long distance relationship, work? Let me tell you a quick story and I'll get to my point. Now, when I lived out in Seattle, I worked in hospitals and nursing homes, and I dated a lot of different women, and I don't know, it just seemed like never to work out. So I heard about online dating, when the internet first come out and everything. So, and I met this wonderful woman down at Lufkin, Texas, and they had a bad hurricane down there, and I'm a carpenter, so I wanted to start a relationship with her. And so I loaded up my truck, all my tools, go down there and work and start a relationship. And it didn't work. We left on good terms, so I went back to Seattle. Then shortly after that, my brother got sick in New York State, upstate New York, near Rochester. So I packed up my truck and everything and moved back to New York. That's where I grew up and went to school to help my brother out. And I continued the online dating and everything. And, I had to remodel his house, make it wheelchair accessible, blah, blah, blah. And I continued the online dating. And I don't know, I didn't have much luck. Then I met this one woman from Erie, Pennsylvania. She was kind of homeless, and so I ended up going to Erie, PA, and working on the farms and meet her. And I thought she was the one. We got married. Bought a home. We're together. We were married for like 10 years, and then when she got her own finances squared away, her own disability check and everything, and well, marriage was over basically. So I'm there, and I retired at 62, under the assumptions that I'm buying a house that would give me my monthly house payment, but I still worked. But after the marriage was over, the house was almost paid for, and I was only getting like $800 a month from Social Security. Like, oh my God, what do I do now? How am I going to survive? So again, I went back online, about low budget living, and then I found out about people leaving the States to low budget countries where it's much affordable to live on a small income. And Philippines kept coming up, and I started thinking, well, I was in the Philippines 1974 for about 4 months when I was in the Army, and I really enjoyed it. So I kind of chose the Philippines. And during this time, I went online again, not with intentions to, find a lifetime partner, but what I wanted, because I did a lot of YouTube searches on the vloggers here in the Philippines, and they say, either do boots on the ground, meet them, then decide what woman that you want for a lifetime partner, or you can try online dating. Well, I didn't want anything permanent, but I heard a lot of advice, that you can meet a lot of girls that are willing to show you around, and once you get there and how the ropes work, and the culture, and so you're not going there blind. You know, that was my first intentions. So, you know, I chatted with a lot of different girls from the Philippines online. And then this one came, which is now my wife, Marietta. You know, we chatted for a good year before, you know, before we decided to get together. It was kind of accidental how we got together. We just clicked. She was so much different from all the other women, you know. And pandemic came, which held me back, you know, from coming out here. Then my mother passed away, and my sister was executor of the will, and the lawyer that she chose was the wrong lawyer. It took years to have a settlement, so I had to wait for pandemic to be over and get my inheritance before I could come to the Philippines. And I wasn't going to sell my house until I was absolutely sure once I got here, you know. But anyhow, the total length of time for my LDR, long distance relationship, before I knew it, it was 4.5 years. Now, at the time, like I said, Marietta was just a friend. But when you talk every day and night, by email, by messenger, by video calls, you know, you get to know each other very, very well, and we both felt the chemistry. And before I know it, you know, we become engaged. Now, she never asked for money. You know, she's independent. She has her own rice farm and a good family and everything. And I said, wow, this wasn't part of the plan, but you know, I'll accept what's coming my way. Now, she's only 3 years younger than me. Right now I'm 70, she's 67, 68. Anyhow, everybody says don't do an LDR. They're this, they're that. They're going to scam you. They're going to do this and so on and everything, you know. But you know, the way I look at it, if they're going to talk to you every day and night for 4.5 years, there's no way that a person is going to take that length of time and effort and energy just to scam you. Now today, this morning, before we left the house, you know, I was on YouTube live stream and talking with this gentleman. I forgot his name already. I'm sorry. I'll give you a shout out. But anyhow, you know, a lot of us got in a discussion about LDR. Excuse me. And, you know, told him my story. And my point is, you know, I told him what made me decide to choose her is because, well, the Philippines basically, I like the culture of the old traditional marriage that's been lost in the States there for a long time. That's what I've been searching for years. You know, and my wife believes in the old traditional marriage. You can tell by scammers, you know, by looking at their Facebook, what kind of pictures they have, what kind of friends list they have, and this and that. You can weed out a lot of scammers to the real ones, you know. It's now the deal breaker with my wife now is, you know, she sent a video. She's this is a very religious country. Boy, over 80% are like Catholic, you know, go to church, etc., you know. Now, and she belongs to a church group called the Handmaidens, which is all women and everything. They have meetings once a month, and they do excuse me, testimonials. Now, she went up in front of over 100 women up on stage and did her testimonial, how she found an American online, and we're announcing our engagement and our future plans and this and that and everything. And you know, when she does that in front of that many people, you know that she's sincere. And plus, she introduced me to her kids and her aunts and uncles and brothers and family and her mother and her sister and her brother. But you know, there's total transparency. You know, there's really no red flags. So anyhow, when I was waiting during the pandemic and for my inheritance, you know, I got a lot of the COVID money because I was on unemployment for a while in the winter because it was farm work, and I started to send her budgets to build us a house with all the luxuries in it and everything. You know, went against everybody's advice, but I told you why I went through the LDR with this particular one. And plus, at that time, like I said, I was only getting $800 a month on my Social Security. There's no way I could live like you know, on that amount, even with my house paid for. You know, there in Erie. So anyhow, the cost of living is very low. You know, I mentioned before, labor for one carpenter a day is only $10 a day just for labor. So that'll give you an idea how cheap it is. Rent, if you rent a place, it's out in the province is anywhere from $100 to $200 a month, let alone building our own house. But you know, we discussed, you know, when we meet each other, it's different than online, but yet, you know, like I said, after 4.5 years, you get to know each other. And we knew that we were going to have challenges once we meet in person, you know, and we were prepared on the culture differences. We knew that was ahead of us. So just acknowledging that right there, you know, we both do our very best to make it work. So, end up coming here after 4.5 years, and it was beautiful. You know, we got married within 30 days, and everything started out fine. Of course, we had our differences and arguments. Every marriage does, you know. But what I like about this culture, like I said before, I like the laws. Excuse me again. I like the customs and the laws, you know. Let me back up a little bit. Saving face is very important in this country. So for her to admit to the church group and family and everything that she made a commitment, there's no turning back. Saving face is very important. But anyhow, I like the laws here, because adultery, you can end up in jail, you know, and I mean for like 5-6 years, because you know I've had women in the past who cheated on me many times, and you know I got sick of it, you know, and plus there's no divorce in this country. So for a woman to make that kind of a commitment on top of all the other things that I told you, you know, your odds are like 90% it's going to work. You know, you just gotta deal with your future problems and the culture differences little by little. You know, you have to understand them. We talked about Tampo, and you know, which is another video that I made, and you know, you just have to be patient with them, but it's very well rewarding. They'll test you, you know. It's just, I don't know how to explain it, but I made it work. You know, I planned ahead. Now I get $1,000 a month there on my Social Security, and we live very comfortable on that. Got my 13A marriage visa. No more extensions every 2 months. That was costing me over 5,000 pesos, you know, let alone travel expenses and food and all that and everything, you know. So it only cost me 340 pesos a year which is like $6-7 just to let immigration know that I'm still here every January. You know, there's ways of cutting corners, but it was nice to have a house built and a car and having everything you need there, and you know, ahead of time before I come out. And I was really surprised that I met such a wonderful woman who wasn't a scammer. And yeah, it can work for you. You know, everybody's situation is different. If you're coming to the Philippines very quickly, then I highly advise, like the other bloggers say, you know, do boots on the ground. You know, but if you're waiting for years and want to get something started ahead of time, they're out there. It's very possible, you know, for it to work. There's a lot of different success stories from people that I met personally and online. You know, just, you know, be streetwise, learn the red flags, you know, but this is just my opinion and my advice, and how you know, it is possible, you know. Okay, if you went through it or going through it now or thinking about it, got any questions, leave a comment. You know, I love to hear your take on this, and I wish y'all good luck that are here or that are coming here. These women are fantastic. They're worth it, you know. Okay, we'll talk to you later, and I hope to see you again, and I hope you like and subscribe. Okay, bye-bye.